It's not a day in my life. You know me, my dog, stay by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die. This ain't nothing for the pack. Got 16 sitting in the lap. Whole squad all dressed in all black. Every single last one of them got my back. 20 of us, that's 20 goons in the ice cream whip, triple school. I got 3 strikes, ain't got to lose. When it's all on the line, what you gonna do? Come on, I'm highly favored. Don't wanna blame me, no conversation, ain't got time for no debating. It's for the taking, no hesitation. Don't try my patience. I'ma pull out one for the set, boy, till there's nothing left. On a run to the.
First opened back in 1975. There's a look inside the iconic Mercedes-Benz Superdome in downtown New Orleans. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Seattle Seahawks and the New Orleans Saints. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Watson. And right away, he lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And this drive will start on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So it should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the same play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about it anymore.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Wilson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Wilson of the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. It's caught, Lockett. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up.
And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Rashad Penny with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point up and through by Myers, and that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to their self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups. Check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, ball. Evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need.
There he goes, right side. Touchdown, New Orleans. A big play there. An 80-yard touchdown as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
At the 27-yard line.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now the Georgia Southern man. This is Jerick McKinnon. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they can open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
They'll look to pick it up with McKinnon. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. 2 yards and able to get the first down in the process.
3rd and 2, right? So this is a situation where low man has got to win at the line of scrimmage, but it's not just the low man winning. It's the low man who's winning with some force, and they had that to pick up the first down.
Barely picking it up, but they did. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a man open down the middle of the field. Tyler Lockett, and he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Tyler Lockett with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Seahawks have taken the lead. The extra point now coming from Myers. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game.
That's the score. Seahawks 14, Saints 7.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Now Watson. Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And now off to the races down the right side. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. Those free safeties, they get to sit back there if they've got good pass rushers like this team does. Read like a book. He read it like a book and took it in for 6.
And if they use their eyes well and their anticipation skills, they can make big plays, just as what we saw. A free safety's dream. Follow the football, go to it, and take it the other way.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
It all comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
It's deep in there. They're going to be stopped up on this first down run. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big. Now this throw caught left side, and that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 38-yard line. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the play goes nowhere, losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 39-yard line.
Let's go, D. Tighten up. Let's go, D. Tighten up.
On 2nd and 11 now. Watson. And he will bring this across midfield to the 49-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Mike 47, target.
After the interception, here's Wilson. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. After the penalty, it's Penny. A good productive run there on 1st down. He winds up getting 8.
Next, the receivers helped spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day.
And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Harold Landry in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Wilson of the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. To throw is Wilson. They set up the screen to Penny. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. Not That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination. They find a way to put it aside and continue to play their game.
Can he put it aside? Let's find out. A pretty wild first quarter. 21-7, our score. From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. Now a handoff here to his running back. And some room to work. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. It'll be a Saints first down on a pickup of 13. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Right back to him on 1st down. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
I got you.
Here's Watson. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. From the gun, here's Watson. Steps away to his left. Now he'll turn and throw deep back to the other side of the field. Incomplete. Both players were there offensively and defensively, but it falls incomplete.
Another dangerous throw there, partner. I mean, he's already thrown 2 interceptions here in the first half. I don't know if you want to keep throwing up 50-50 balls and you've had that kind of lack of success.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well could have been a 3rd interception in half number 1. Now it's Lockett. $12 yards on the return that time. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
At their own 20-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Wilson leaves this one with Penny. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size and these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Now it's Wilson. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. That'll pick up the first down for Seattle on a gain of 18.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a first down for them, too.
I'm going to run you over. I'm going to run you over.
Off the play fake, here's Wilson. And he's taken down here by the Saints.
I don't know about you, but if I'm the offensive line coach right now, I'm having an absolute fit. This team that they're going against has 3 sacks, Yet they rank dead last in the league in sacks coming into this game.
Maybe overlooked them a little bit?
Could be. I don't know if it's the scheme. I don't know if they've just gotten fortunate along the way. I have no real great answer for it, but we're seeing something you don't often see.
It's a gain of 6, and it's 3rd down.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Wilson. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Well, they've already allowed 3 sacks in this first half, now a holding penalty.
So I think drastic measures had to be taken, right? The regular way was not working. He was getting hit almost every snap, it felt like. They had to try and keep him upright.
And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Wilson. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. A very solid gain of 27. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him. And he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there.
Penny, a first down carry. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. From the 41, Wilson, and he slings one that's incomplete. Jennings was the one he was looking for, and now it's 3rd down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now Wilson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Harold Landry has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. This one angles out of bounds in a good spot in the coffin corner. And they're going to mark this out of the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
And from that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again, so it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Back to throw, Watson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. He'll get 15 and a Saints first down.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He had told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put it up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that one.
And he coughed it up, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line.
Oh, ball. That's our ball.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the Saints' 22-yard line.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Good job right there.
From the shotgun, Wilson. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. 19 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
And a nice job defensively to keep him out of the end zone. He's trying to get a 2nd touchdown already in the first half.
They had that one earlier, was bidding for a 2nd. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Penny will try to punch it in. And he's stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
The crowd here in the Dome making things difficult. 3rd and goal. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. And Myers able to knock it through. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the 2nd half is underway. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the 2nd half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10.
Watch it. Safety's creeping.
From the gun, they will run with McKinnon. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. Wide open receiver complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. One heck of a 3rd down conversion, 33 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now Wilson. And yes, complete to the tight end, McDonald. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Here's Wilson. A dump down to McKinnon. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Charles, did I just hear that right? They declined the personal foul. 3 yards, they just declined them.
And I have to think that the official is thinking to himself, did I just hear that correctly, that you declined that one? All I can think of is that someone on the field got confused. Because they had to, because you're going to take the yards on that penalty each and every time.
He'll find Metcalf. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
Watch the ship. Watch the ship. Hey. Good job right there. Watch the ship.
They'll try and run forward with Penny. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Rashad Penny, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Myers connects on the PAT. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here. And he loses the football a 2nd time. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they'll be at the 18-yard line. Great field position here in the red zone. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Check 55 to Mike. Oh, yeah, I'm coming.
They'll try and get the run game going. This is Penny. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. This offense has had a lot to like in this game. I don't know that last play, though, is going to make the highlight reel.
It's not going to make the highlight reel, but it will be the focus of the film session that the team has to sit through. I've sat through those before. Never any fun. You're always excited about your good plays, and they actually fast forward through those. All right, that was good. All right, great. They get to the bad ones and really illuminate them. Not cool.
They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. To throw is Wilson, operating from the gun. It's complete to Lockett. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board, ended up settling for 3.
Michael Dixon to kick off for Seattle.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
On first down, Watson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. He'll get 15 and a Saints first down.
I know I spent a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped-up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to it.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jaron Reed able to record his 5th sack of the season. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
They'll run it now out of the gun. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down.
It's going to be a long...
Out of the gun, Watson. He'll buy some time right. He can run for it, and he will. And he's going to come up a few yards short of the first. They get him to the ground at the 37. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
It's 4th down.
Still just the 3rd quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on 4th. Now it's Watson. And he will find his man on the outside. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. A bit of an opening there on the first down run as they get this forward for about 6 yards. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Now a handoff looking right. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. A shotgun snap for Watson. Being chased out left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. To throw is Watson, and that's caught by Smith. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Now, no reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll get 3 down to the 34-yard line.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
It's our field. It's our field.
Now they try the right side here. Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down. After seeing that, maybe time to go back to some downfield throws here.
Yeah, anything. Change it up, because the teams that win, the best teams, they're the ones that make adjustments. Doesn't mean you can't come back to what you thought you could get done. Sometimes when you open things up a little bit, you can get back to what you wanted to do before.
Here's Watson. He may try and run for this. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 23. On first down, it's Watson. That's caught. It's Thomas. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Here's Watson. From the gun, he'll throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Traquan Smith, the intended receiver, but it'll be second and goal. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. He was trying to hit Thomas that time, but now it's third and goal. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's fourth. Now Lutz for the field goal try. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. And Lutz puts this one through. And that will cut the lead down to 3 scores at 24. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But you also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Go 14.
Second down, McKinnon. And an alley to run. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. First down, Seattle on a pickup of 13. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now Rashad Penny. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
A 4-yard pickup on the play. First down, Seattle.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. Penny. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine.
Watch the run. Strong right. Strong right. Strong right. 4 down. 4 down.
On second down, here's Penny. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
And it's 3rd down.
Line 90.
47 is the mic.
Let's go, D.
Third and short, McKinnon. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
So the victory here for Seattle, and it was a game where they were off and running in the first quarter, Charles, and never looked back.
You know, partner, after a while, we always say the same thing, don't we? They set the tone early, right? They started fast. So I asked a few of my horse racing friends, do you have a term for me that we can use to cover that? And they said, yeah. When a horse breaks out like that, you say he caught a flyer out of the gate. And that's exactly what this team did today. I mean, they jumped out there, jumped on them, and were never headed.
So for the Seahawks, it's a 10th win of the year now as they move to 10-4. And they'll get another road date next week. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, their slim playoff hopes are gone now as they fall to 5-9. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Glendale to take on the Cardinals. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin.